as part of its strategy to boost investments and improve the lives of Deltans with a robust economy. The Delta State government has unveiled plans to embark on a trip to Abuja in Nigeria and Brazil in South America to woo investors to Delta State. Delta State Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Mr. Charles Anyago, says the Mo administration is taking decisive steps to attract both local and foreign investors into agriculture, solid mineral and energy. Mr. Anyago, who spoke at a pre-departure press conference in Asaba, was joined by Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Kingsley Emu, Chief Economic Advisor, Barry Bey, Agriculture Commissioner, Agric Yinka, and Investment Commissioner, Samuel Oligida. Dr. Emu stressed that the government's heavy investment in physical infrastructure aims to create a business-friendly environment that will complement human capital development and drives sustainable economic growth.
The 5 largest economy by size of GDP, share size of GDP. Our non-oil GDP is about 52%, which is very significant. Typically, because we're a major oil producing, that ought to account for more. So it means that services and other related areas are also expanding. And they're not expanding by accident. They are conscious expansion. We talk about infrastructure. We have infrastructure deficit in this country runs into trillions of dollars. Road infrastructure in Nigeria. NSC puts the number of roads in Nigeria between 196 to 200,000 kilometers of road. 35% belongs to them. It means that 65% belongs to the states and the local government. And you know that local governments don't do roads, given their cash flow and the resources available to them. So states have begun to take over this responsibility. And that's why we must continue to build roads. That's the emphasis on roads. And they have been so bad that if you don't do them, you can't interconnect. Our strategic intent in terms of infrastructure is not just on urban renewal, it's also connecting to the local communities and opening up those areas to mitigate rural-urban migration and grow our agriculture and make those areas. That's where you actually have the land where industries can be located. And that's what we have done.
Action with respect to investment in infrastructure. And many a time we have asked, why are we focusing so much on infrastructure and all that? Even at that, we also told you that remotely, that a whole lot of these funds are also ending up in the hands of our people. But right now, it's not just remote. We are solvent, we also want our people to be solvent. And so our government is also taking further decisions to make funds available to our people, to bring in investors, to ensure that we open up other corridors, having created that enabling environment on account of the infrastructure that were built over the years. And so we will be heading to Abuja for some interactions with critical stakeholders. We will also, after that, be heading to Brazil, all with a view to giving vent to what we have done before, which is creating the enabling business environment. Over the years, a number of investors have come in, but we believe that what we have done requires much more number of investors.
Chief Economic Advisor Barry Bey, alongside Agriculture Commissioner Agric Yinka and Investment Commissioner Samuel Oligida, provided further details on the government's planned investment promotion trips to Abuja and Brazil. They explained that the visits are designed to showcase Delta State's economic potential and open new channels for strategic partnerships in key sectors.
What is called a DARES program. DARES is distributed access to renewable energy scale up. That's the program. And that program is, at the start, will be giving support to 25 communities in each state. And it is open for the 36 states. So Delta State has expressed interest to participate. As one of the eligibility criteria, a roundtable must be organized by the state in Abuja, and that's what we're going to do. That roundtable meeting will bring development partners, banks, and then private sector players to look at other members of the energy ecosystem, to be their rescos, discos, and all that, to look at ways through which we can now come back to implement that DARES program of projects. There will be selection processes when we get back to the state. But the good side of it is that it will give us the opportunity to also advance our intents in what we intend to do in the energy market along the lines of our energy policy and then the law that we just passed.
We have surplus age of cassava. And the major problem is problem of processing. Why is the processing a problem? Is power. So with this DARES program, we will see our villages who are not even connected to the national grid being able to process their excess agricultural products. So that is a win-win for us, first for the ROEA meeting for tomorrow, as it affects agriculture. Then Brazil is about one of the largest agricultural countries in the world. They have the expertise, they have the money, and they have all the technologies needed. So I'm going to Brazil is actually to leverage on their experience and their willingness to do business with Nigeria, which is also part of the BRICS bloc. The discussion we've had so far, we are going to work on more when we get there, is how to open up our areas, especially the lands that are opened up, invest and build structures which will give employment to our people and also produce more food which we can even export. So for the Brazil meeting, we are doing cassava, which is a major product. We are doing tomato, cucumber, and other vegetables. But for the cassava, they are also we are telling them also to come and invest in processing plants.
Now, when you talk of going to this Brazil, what are we going to take from Brazil? First, we are going there to increase the investment opportunity in Delta states. Two, we are going there to showcase the potentials of Delta states, of what we have in Delta state. How do we increase the investment opportunity? Now we are going to Brazil. We have already profiled all the investors we are going to meet there, and we know their potentials. And I want to promise you that going to this Brazil and coming back is going to be an harvest of investors. This state has what I call the Bible for investors, which is the industrial policy of this state. With the head of the SNG to the state government, its guardian and its mentor, this state can boast of a well-positioned industrial policy in the state, which every investors will want to lay their hand to enable them to come to the state and invest.
Government officials, the disturbance. This issue of Delta State public and private properties protection. Recently, an investor, ceramic, there are some issues.
ADBN Charles Kosipri reports that with renewable energy to boost power supply in underserved communities, to strengthen local economies from Abuja trip and that of Brazil to expand the state's agriculture, trade and solid mineral potential through large-scale partnership, Delta State is bound to improve its GDP and set the pace for others to follow.